Advertisers bet big on the night. A single 30-second spot, in fact, sells for about $7 million. So was it worth shelling out all that money?
Well, let's find out. For a breakdown of last night's ads, we're joined by Assistant Marketing Professor at the Ilitch School of Business, Cuckovich. Thanks a lot for coming in this morning.
Well, thank you for having me.
Really appreciate it. So let's start with an overall thought on this year's ads. As a whole, how were they?
They were good.
I like it. Simple.
Simple, good, no big risks. I think the advertisers were all a little nervous given what Bud Light has endured over the last year.
Yes.
Big venue, lots of eyes. Nobody wanted to be on social media facing backlash.
So kind of playing it cautious, right? With caution. So what would you say were the big hits and what fell flat this year?
So big hit, personal opinion for me, the Dung Kings with Ben Affleck and his posse from Boston.
That was great.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
I thought it was funny, and I really like the utilization of Ben Affleck because he actually uses the product. Celebrity endorsements are great if they're what we call in the business organic and make sense. But a celebrity for the use of celebrity is not always effective. I think we saw that in the T-Mobile. They called it the audition ad for their VIP program. I saw, I think it was Ad Age, that called it a celebrity salad. Just celebrities for the sake of celebrities. I don't think that's very effective.
Yeah, you mentioned, they didn't want to do many controversial ads because of what Bud Light faced a little while ago. There weren't a lot of political ads either. I mean, I saw one, I think, for Kennedy, but other than that, that was the only one that caught my eye.
Usually the political ads don't play in the Super Bowl. The Kennedy ad was a surprise. A lot of political consultants will tell you the Super Bowl is not the place to be for a political ad. At this stage of the game, it's all about the primaries, which are local.
Yeah.
So what was the big takeaway, do you think, from the night? Obviously, you saw a lot of advertisers kind of proceeding with caution. The Ben Affleck ads, you're saying, was the big hit. What really missed the mark? What fell short?
I believe the Martin Scorsese Squarespace ad fell short. I thought it was confusing. I didn't get the connection that it was about a website. I don't think they utilized his talent in the way it could be utilized. And I also felt the BetMGM ad with Tom Brady was more about Tom Brady and less about the brand. So if I'm the client, I want it to be about my brand. I don't want it to be Tom Brady's so good he can't use my brand.
Well, let's stick on that theme then. So what does make a good Super Bowl commercial then? What makes it memorable?
So they're difficult. They're difficult to do well, but the first is an audience connection, which is why we see emotional ads, right? How do we connect with those consumers? And humor is a really good way to do it. So emotional connection, celebrities if they're utilized well, and a good story. Now, I just said celebrities, but look at the story that Kia told with the ice skater girl who wanted to go show her routine to her grandfather. And then last year, the ad that won the USA Today Ad Meter, which you all are reviewing on CBS Mornings later today, was a dog food commercial with no celebrities.
With no celebrities, but dogs.
But
People
dogs,
love dogs.
the animals.
Yeah,
yes.
exactly.
Yep.
And you mentioned, obviously a lot of folks playing it safe. Was there anything in terms of that stood out to you that possibly could face any sort of backlash, or not so much this year?
No backlash. A lot of nostalgia. Flashdance was in there twice.
I noticed that.
Flashdance was in there twice. Nostalgia. We're in such a turbulent time, such a confrontational time. That's another thing. The advertisers took this opportunity to make people feel good and feel good about their brands. We have enough confrontation, fighting, arguing this is all about fun.
Yeah, it was. I like the ones that made me laugh. The Schwarzenegger State Farm one I enjoyed. Neighbor. And then there was a Kawasaki one where these guys, they got into near their four-wheeler. All of a sudden, they grew mullets. And they went by Stone Cold Steve Austin, a famous wrestler who's bald. And when they drove by him, he had a mullet. And he's like, thanks, boys.
Yes.
He got his hair back.
Laugh
like,
out loud at our house.
Yeah.
It was great. It was great.
Laughter always gets you, and of course you mentioned the emotion. Were you surprised at all by the religious ads this year?
Not as much as I was last year, because this is the second year they've run. I think, again, I think it's an attempt to try and
Maybe bring people
calm
together?
people down, bring people together. Let's like each other a little bit, even if we can't love each other.
It's an expensive message, $7.5 million.
It is
Sure
a very
is.
expensive message.
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly. Catherine, thanks a lot for coming by this morning. Really
Oh, it
appreciate
was
this
my
and
pleasure.
breaking down some of those commercials we all saw
Thanks so
yesterday
much.
during the Super Bowl.